Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I am really excited to speak with Mica today. Mica is a Reiki healer, a Somastery facilitator, and a herbalist. Mica and I have been weaving in each other's life for the last couple of years, and she is definitely one of the people on the list that has both inspired and challenged me in ways that she probably doesn't even know. But it's my absolute honor to have you here today, Mica. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Um, I just love being in your community and presence. Yeah, so thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. I'm so excited that you're here. And these conversations are about embodied leadership. These conversations are about stepping into that new version of ourselves that starts to reveal itself when we take new, different, exciting, sometimes uncomfortable steps. And maybe we can start there. Maybe we can start with where you came from and how you got to where you are now. You can share as much or as little as you want, whatever feels relevant for the person that you're showing up as today.
Okay. I came from a very difficult life full of a lot of trauma. Watching my mother suffer from mental illness and going through things, and then going into my adulthood, I suffered from the same mental illnesses and stayed in the same cycles of abusive relationships, never in a healthy one. And then my mental stuff just got worse and the trauma just got worse. And I'm raising kids and I'm in survival mode and I'm using meth and alcohol on my bad days to cope, and I'm just living this until I was 40 years old. And in 2018, 17, I got in a really bad narcissistic relationship where I had been through abuse, but this abuse was much, much different. It was much darker. It was a lot of controlling, and it changed my life. It changed me in a lot of ways. And I found myself turning 40, diagnosed with my fourth mental illness and going through my second mental breakdown. And my kids were grown. My daughter was 23. My son was he was a senior in high school, going into his senior year. And my granddaughter was on the way. And I was so tired, but it wasn't as tired like before. I didn't want to commit suicide because I had been down that road too. I just wanted something different. I found myself in prayer a lot to God that I'd never really felt but heard so much about my entire life. And yeah, I had a calling. It was like I saw a little bit of light and was told to heal and to help other women heal. The next day, I found myself looking up ways to heal from trauma and holistic healing, and led me into energy work and chakras. And when I found out about chakras and started working with my chakras, I got off 7 mental medications. So I moved on to Somastery and coming into my body. And that's where I want to really tone in on the leadership part. I'm just getting there. I'm just getting there because my life has been so much of survival mode, and my nervous system is just now starting to feel safe to really come into my own. So there's not a lot of people want to really push and push if you have a certificate or if you know this, but I feel like people get burned out when they don't take the time for their nervous system and to be in their bodies. So for me and all of this leadership, it's been about really feeling safe, and you helped me a lot in that, come into my voice, but feeling safe in doing it, offering me a really safe space for that, and I just slowly moving into me and still learning to slow down because when you live 40 years in survival mode, it's a really hard task. And
Absolutely.
now I'm here and I'm helping other women, and I'm inspiring, and I'm starting to even inspire myself. I don't know. I love it here. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy. I go through my moments when I have to retract myself, but Sheena has taught me a lot about that too, just really taking that time for myself. I don't have to show up every single day all the time. Definitely have to show up to make your business work, but it's okay to give yourself grace on the bad days too, because a lot of us do. We have struggles in life and we have mental stuff and we have traumas.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. That was literally just like the sketch of Micah right there and where she come from. And I love how you're so honest. And I love how you said, I'm just getting there. I'm in my
Yeah.
40s and I'm just getting there. Look where I came from. And where you came from has taken time to feel safe again in your body, has taken time to feel safe enough to be able to put yourself out there as a leader.
Yeah.
Love that you shared that piece with us. And another thing that you said that really just hit home for me and it just means so much to me. You said that you found God or you found that thread of hope or faith at the right time. And I'm a firm believer. And I came from not believing any higher power. And I've gone on my own journey. And I firmly believe that we're all part of something greater than ourselves. But I wonder if you can share as much as you're comfortable with about that moment of deciding, I'm going to believe in something greater. I'm going to allow myself to and give myself permission to start to cultivate this spiritual connection or whatever it is that you call it. If you could share just a little bit about that decision, because I think oftentimes we do have like moments where we feel super connected, but we can then decide, oh, that was just a moment. And instead of deciding, "Whoa, that was the moment where I realized that I was part of something greater, and I'm gonna choose to believe in that." Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. For me, there wasn't a choice. I felt it so deeply. It almost like I was on the floor, literally in tears, and it picked me up off the ground. Like, not completely. I was picking myself up some too, but like just the feeling, it was just for the first time in my life, I felt completely held and completely nourished, and I had this mother, father figure all rolled into one, just holding on to me, letting me know that it was gonna be okay and that I had this purpose in my life and that my pain just wasn't in vain. And I feel like all the time, if I let this purpose go, everything I went through is for nothing. But there's so many women out there that still don't have the voice to speak up. And that's what I'm here for. Everything would be for nothing. And my purpose is so big. And I feel like that's why my pain was so deep. And I still waver from God, from my spiritual connection. Sometimes that's been a hard road for me as well because my papa was a Baptist preacher and I was raised in the South in the Bible Belt. So I still get criticized and things of that nature, some by my family, and that's okay. But it's been a hard thing for me. But when I waver from that feeling, from that purpose, and from the way that I feel God, when I waver from that and I don't pray to him and I don't stick beside him, her consciousness, it feels good to me to say him. But when I don't stay true to that and I waver from that, I suffer from that. I
Mm,
suffer from it. I don't feel aligned when I'm not in my purpose. And so just knowing that God had this plan and I had this purpose. I have this huge purpose in the world to be in service, to help heal this world, and just trying to stay true to that every single day, no matter what's going on. And even I've been going through some personal things in my life that's caused me to stray from that faith. But really coming back into it the past week, I just feel so much better. It's just I'm going on 4 years of my healing journey, so just every day, I'm learning more and just keeping it but every time I come back to that to God, to that prayer and that stillness, I feel alive. It feels right. Uh,
thank you. Thanks for sharing. So, let's talk about and you can tell me how you feel about this because it's been a theme I've noticed with a few of these chats that I've been having. And you touched on it, but it's this idea that, yeah, we're here for a purpose. If you're watching this, if you are coming on here to chat with me, if you're in my world, chances are that you believe that there is a deeper purpose for your presence here on earth. And I find that a lot of times those people who feel that calling, who feel that purpose, have been through a considerable amount of pain and discomfort. And I
Mhm.
too believe that if it wasn't for all of the pain and discomfort that I traversed, that my purpose maybe wouldn't feel as big, or I wouldn't feel as deeply connected to it. And there's this kind of tug of war too, because we don't just decide one day, oh, this is my purpose. And now everything changes. And now I can step into that version. There's so much healing before, like, that has to take place before we can even take that first step into admitting that we believe we have a purpose and actually saying it out loud, let alone sharing it with people. And you shared that you still have those days. And I do too. Like, I do too. I still have my days where I need to get really grounded and reconnect to my purpose and disconnect from struggle, even if it's very present in my life, and remind myself that this is all a part of the greater plan. This is all a part of the fuel for the fire that I have inside me to, like, light this world up. I don't know if you have anything that you want to share on just like that idea and what you believe about that. And then maybe just some practices that you have adopted, some like rituals, whether it's a daily practice or something that you do monthly, where you do come back to your purpose. You do come back to giving yourself permission to reconnect with that flame. So I'll throw it to you. I'm not sure if there's a question in there or what, but if you can just speak on that
So I
fucking
get your
struggle.
plug. Yeah. No, I love that because for so many years I didn't think I had a purpose. And I'm still finding my worth. Okay. And still finding my confidence. And I'm learning that I'm finding that more and more in my purpose. So for anybody that struggles in coming back to their purpose, for me, I remember after the prayer and after I realized that I did have a purpose in my life and I realized the pain was for a reason, I can remember my PTSD symptoms were really bad, but I started this healing journey and it started with the moon and self love and tarot cards or cards. That's really all I had to work with at the time, but it was just shadow work, that too, a lot of that. And it was such a beautiful journey going into my purpose. So I can remember laying in bed telling my youngest, my bonus daughter, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to help women heal. And I was in such a dark place. I was still drinking pretty good then. But I can remember like saying that and then looking back from this point and going back, which I've been really trying to do a lot lately. I see myself living in my purpose. I've watched myself over 3 years travel to places I never thought I would see. I've watched myself host things online and now even an in-person retreat and help these women have these breakthroughs that's just so fucking magical. Like, just the more I do, the more I know I'm living in my purpose. But as far as coming back during those mental struggles, because man, I have those days where I just don't feel connected. Coming into my body, number one, just really being present, using my breath, using my hands to do that sacred touch all through my body and just trying to be in my body. Also, making more of daily ritual in my life, sitting in prayer. Prayer will always bring me back there. I have an altar at home, but I do have a little traveling altar I bring with me on the road that I set up wherever I'm at. So it's that space for me. When I'm feeling disconnected, I love to pull a card in the mornings and journal a little bit about it. I'm one that has a hard time journaling sometimes. Even though I know it's good for me, I don't like to do it all the times. So pulling that oracle card and journaling on that just really gives you something to write about in those moments when you don't feel like there's nothing that you want to write about.
Mm,
And connection and community.
yeah.
And that that one kinda took me some time to and Sheena watched me. I've been in the Somastery for 2 years now. In my first round, I didn't say much or anything. So I wanted the sisterhood, but I was scared of the sisterhood because I've lived a life of I've hurt women and I have been hurt by women. That's the life I lived for so long. Yeah, just really coming back into that. Yeah.
I love that you brought up community, of course, and sisterhood and connection because that's so near and dear to my heart. And in the last decade, it's been something that I've been really working to cultivate and bring together, and not just for me. Like, I know how powerful that is, but because I see how powerful it can be for others. Like, that is like why I want to do it. I'm like, I want everyone to experience what it feels like to be able to step into a room or step into a Zoom and to just be able to be themselves fully, to not feel judged, and to know that they're not being judged, to know that they're simply just being held. So I love that you brought that up, and the other piece, which is that shit is scary. That shit is scary because you're not alone, and I'm not alone in the sister wound. We're not alone in I've hurt women. I've been hurt by women, just like you said. Like, we're not alone in that. That is, I think we grew up in a society that pitted us against each other, right? So for years, we were
Mhm.
comparing ourselves to one another. We were trying to one up each other, or we would get into this judgment mindset. And you know that saying, it's like it takes one to know one. That's why it's scary because we've been both on the receiving and the giving end of that. And when you come back around to this place in your life where you've done some of that shadow work and you've done some of that healing, you realize, oh my God, those parts of me that not only received some sisterhood wounds, but also was fucking delivering it. Like, those parts of me were wounded. Those parts of me were unhealed. They were unresolved. And so then you have to play this kind of tug of war with yourself. I fully accept the shit that I did and I've been through, and I'm willing to risk it possibly happening again, knowing that I won't be delivering it this time. And it's like, you have to be able to trust. You really so have to be able to trust. And I know that you've gone as far as you've done 2 retreats this year, like, in the last year and a half, I think. And
Yeah.
so that is big. It's one thing to join community online, right? That's a little bit easier, but to really step into, like, in-person circle and really trust yourself to hold space and to be held in space despite any past wounds or hurt, it's a really big deal. And I think a lot more women struggle with that than are willing to admit. And I think a lot of women, they don't even see it in themselves. They think, they're super independent and it's signing up to be part of a community. It's just like another thing I have to do, but it's the fucking thing. Like, it is the thing that you can do that will shift and change everything if you can have discernment and if you can trust in your own body telling you, yes, this is the place for me. This is the place that I can be and I can open up and I can share. Maybe you can speak a little bit on that if you have, I don't even know if you have a specific story or just some sort of like anecdote about that sisterhood wound and what it takes to truly step into community, to step into connection, to step
Mhm.
into sisterhood.
Yeah, I do have a story on that. You are a huge part of that. Sisterhood was hard for me, like I said, but Somastery opened me back up to sisterhood. The women in our cohort and others to follow, and just the love and the grace that you're shown in there really allowed me to open up to sisterhood, to start showing up a little bit more. And I feel it in the other women that I'm a part of, like in person, not as much online. They going into this retreat that I did in April, it was a full moon healing retreat, and it was so magical and so potent that it was 5 of us, but the sisterhood is what brings it. The sisterhood is what and the connection is what even the younger girl that was there, I think she's 18, was like, "I appreciate the sisterhood and connection more than, like, talk therapy," and just how much it really helped her. So just those 2 stories, but I could go on and on. I opened myself back up recently and have found a best friend in my hometown. We've known each other for, like, years and years, but we were never friends, and we just connected a little on Facebook and started talking, and now I go to stay at her house when I'm in Brookhaven, and we're a lot alike and just on the same journey, and it's been the old me wouldn't have opened up to someone new like that, and then it turned into, like, such a special and and it's just powerful to start opening your heart up to that again, and it's not an easy thing, but it does feel so good when it happens. I can literally, when I'm really in deep sisterhood, I can feel it in my heart space, like, expansion. It's such a potent medicine, honestly.
I love what you just said, and I was already thinking, I was like, "Oh, I want her to talk about how it feels in her body and, like, the difference and the shift from maybe how it would have felt a few years ago and how it feels now." And you just said it's like this opening expansion in your heart, and so you literally were reading my mind. And let's be honest about the contrast of that. Yeah, when you can do it and you can trust into it, it is this beautiful opening and surrendering and, like, heart flooding feeling, but to get to that place and the reason why we, like, come up with so much resistance, I think, is because how it feels when we first start doing it and the discomfort around what's actually taking place when we have the desire, but we haven't done it. So I don't know if you
And
can
sometimes,
remember that
like,
or
I didn't even know that I had
go ahead, yeah.
sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
I didn't even know I'm gonna ish in sisterhood, honestly, until I really got in good sisterhood, like in Somastery, and that's when I started having all the so my body wasn't ready yet, and I just felt a lot of resistance, especially in my gut area and my heart area. When I would try to go to speak, I couldn't really do it because these women might hurt me. That's what kept coming up for me. So that's when I realized that I did have a problem. I did have that issue and started working with it. And yeah, when you have a good community, though, it really makes it a lot easier to work with those resistances and start coming into the expansion.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're hit the nail on the head with that one. And I think even still sometimes, like, I still sometimes have resistance and my, like, inner voice is, "I'm not smart enough," or, "I don't have enough wisdom," or, "These women are gonna show me up." That was often the way that it would show up for me, and that was, like, shadow work that I had to do, which kinda looks like it doesn't matter. Even if they are smarter than me or have more experience, isn't that actually beautiful? And I did the work to be like, "Wow, actually, that's a gift, and it's not something that I have to be, like, afraid of. It's a gift that I can open up to because it could provide me with experiences that may not have otherwise had by being in connection with these people, with these women." Yeah, I really appreciate you speaking on that. I think that's a big one, and one when you even said it yourself, and me too, where I didn't even realize it was really there until you start to step into any opportunities that come your way, so you said earlier it was that you did the retreat on the full moon. You did a full moon healing retreat. And I know that you love to work with the moon and the cycles of the moon. And obviously, that's a big part of my life and how I like to guide women to, like, connect with rhythm and what I call the success in every cycle. If we have a sustainable cycle, there's always some level of success. Can you share with viewers and with me? I know some of it, but I would love to hear, like, how the moon and just being able to attune or embody or be with the ebb and flow of that cycle, what that's meant for you and how it's helped you and how it's supported your becoming.
Yeah, yeah. I love that you taught that. The moon has been so special for me since the beginning. Like I said, I was not in a good place financially, anything. So that's where I started working and just a lot of releasing. In the beginning, I did a lot of shadow work and a lot of releasing with the full moons. And then a little while later, I brought in a little manifestation with the new moons, but that's all I really knew about until I came into your world. And you've really showed me the cycles of the moon. And even when I stray from it, we all stray from things. But even in my business, when I come back to it, when I'm feeling like I don't want to do much, and I look up like what moon cycle am I in, and it tells me, and I'm like, okay, that's why I don't want to do much. It really feels true to me, not just the moon cycles, the seasons. I think a couple of years ago, I did something with you teaching us really about the darkness, and then last year, I followed into that and did an online retreat, like, really teaching about the darkness and how we can follow suit with those seasons and take that time for rest, and it's okay to be in that darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the moon, and I love the flow cycle with the moon. And I love how much you teach on it, honestly. I don't teach on it or preach on it just a whole lot, but I love to stay in it in my life. And I would need to really bring it more. Like I have a full moon ritual and a new moon ritual in my group, but really need to bring more of the flow of the phases into phases bloom, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, girlfriend. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
This is the kind of information that, like, I truly believe it's like some of those ancient codes that were lost over the years, and that when
For sure.
we start to reintroduce it into our life or open ourselves up to it, it's like little things that just start to make sense and just flow a little bit easier and just like with a little less resistance. So,
And
yes.
I did that. All of the nature and the seasons and the moon, and through my journey, that's what's all felt so good to me. I don't know, 8 months ago, I did my whole ancestry, and I definitely come from a Celtic background, and that they followed the nature and yeah, it does. It feels so true, like a remembering almost,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think, like, collectively, I've said this in a couple of the other chats, and I'm not sure if this is your belief, but it's just, like, feeling alive right now, so I'm gonna share it, and it's that we are here for a reason right now. Like, our souls chose to be here right now at this time, at wherever this place is that we find ourselves, for that very reason, to remember and then to allow those codes of remembrance to move through us. That is like, I'm covered in goosebumps right now. That is the fucking purpose. Like, that is it, is to for us to remember so that we can be a beacon of those codes, and just whether it's just planting the seeds or literally holding someone's hand through every step of the way, it's like it either one is just as powerful, planting the seed and being the, like, doula that walks with someone through every transformation. But the purpose at the end of the day, it's like to remember so that we can help humanity. Like, I'm a firm believer, like, we are collectively rising, and that can mean a bazillion different things to a bazillion different people. But at the end of the day, what it means is that we're rising to a place where there's more resolve, more love, more peace. And like you look around the world today, that doesn't even exist. But it does. It does in these small little pockets. And these small little pockets are just like finding their way through society like little mycelium and just connecting. And I really do feel like in the next 5 years that everything is going to change. Everything's going to flip, and there's going to be this newfound, deeper remembrance of these simple, what seems simple, but super fucking magical codes. There is an ebb and a flow to everything. That there are different energies that we can attune to with the tree, with the moon, with the water, that actually serve us as either medicine or fuel for our fire. Yeah, I definitely,
Love that.
I'm like, that's what we're here
Love
for. That's our
Yeah.
purpose. It gets me all jacked up. I get really excited about it. And one of the things that you mentioned about the moon, which is, and we're in this phase right now with this moon. So I'm bringing it up. And it's, you said I did the releasing on the full moon, and then I did the manifesting on the new moon. And this is like that sweet spot between full moon and new moon is so potent and so powerful. And it's really the part that I really try and drive home for people, because what we can release before the new moon, what we can come to understand and either integrate as part of ourselves or let go, like we're done with that part of ourselves. Then we get to step into this new phase, this manifestation, this new moon. without all that baggage, without
Mm.
having carrying everything with us. And so that part is so potent and so powerful and probably the most misaligned for people because we don't live in a society that honors rest and integration and reflection and shadow work and connecting with soul and source and spirit. And that's the time to do it. Like now, as we are recording this, it is a waning moon. We're almost at the last quarter. So we're almost stepping into the place where now it's time to integrate, to release, and to start reconnecting with spirit to get those drops of insight before we begin to manifest again or we initiate the next cycle. I love that you brought that up. And I think such a powerful piece of that whole it's moon methods, baby. Like I'm about to teach it in a couple days. It's a moon method.
Yes.
It's all about quick plug. I don't usually do this, but Moon Lounge guys, literally you've probably seen it in the descriptions. This is where I teach all of this and where I connect with people in these different phases and really help. And a lot of the stuff that Micah is saying and her experience and things that we've done together, it's all come together and culminated into what it is that I offer in the Moon Lounge. So just a shameless little plug there for me.
Yes,
Oh,
and it's amazing. You do amazing work in there and everywhere. Your work's just amazing anyway.
oh,
So,
thank you.
very
Ah,
grateful to have you in my life.
I appreciate that. And it goes both ways, honey. I'm honored to have these threads weaving this tapestry together. And, like, this wasn't always easy for me, like, I have a lot of people that are, "Oh my gosh, you've been in my life long enough to know that I come up to a point and I'm done, I've done the work, I swear to I've done the work in the last 6 months, 8 months, but I've repeatedly come to a point and then burned it all down and just given it all up and stepped away." And that was a nervous system thing for me, like, I couldn't accept the fact that what I was creating was actually changing lives and was actually this path that I had envisioned, and so often I've done that over the years or abandoned myself. I've done that a lot for, like, other people, and I'll go do projects with other people. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about a time, like, literally a decade ago when I was stepping into my doula business, and I did it. I abandoned my own business, and I went I found an agency, and I would help, and I would show up all the time, and I would do their social media, and it's just, oh. Anyways, that's been one of my cycles, and I think that's why that part is so important to me, that letting go, that surrendering, because so many times I needed to let go and surrender. My body knew it was time, and I just kept grasping and holding on, and it really took
Yeah.
me away from my own purpose, my own path, and what I truly believe that I'm here to do and what feels alive in my body. I don't know where that came from, but there it is. There you have it.
So
Um, I was
that's
gonna
what we're
ask.
here for, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was gonna ask a question about I can't even remember, we'll see if it comes back up, but let's direct the focus to where you are now, what it is that you've got going on, and what you hope to be creating over, say, the next 6 months, and that vision that you're currently embodying for yourself.
Yeah. So right now, I am building my business. I have a group, Phases Bloom, and I do a lot of trauma informed stuff in there and how you can work with your body with trauma. I really want to just bring women that have been through what I've been through back home to their bodies because there's so much pain in there that needs to be released, but there's so much wisdom too. There's so much safety when we start trying to find it from within ourselves first. So I do sessions. I have an embodied energy session where I do somatic work and some Reiki work. I am working on launching like a 6 session program, Embody Your Inner Warrior, where we'll just move. It's 6 sessions and we'll move through finding safety and then releasing some traumas and then empowering on to your next steps. So that's probably coming in the fall. And I'm also working on I will launch a beauty product line this summer, the end of July. So yeah, we'll do like magnesium sprays, detox scrubs. I have a facial oil. I'm not going to give all the goods, but there's about 9 products that I'm going to start with. There's so much more I want to do. This really reigns true to me. I started making my own like face oils and bath products a few years ago when I was in my healing journey and I had PTSD symptoms so bad it was causing me to have like ADHD stuff, and I would just want to do things. So I would paint sometimes, I would make stuff sometimes, and I really got into the making of my own stuff. And then in the past year and a half, I have realized just how much the US is poisoning us. And most of our beauty products is linked back to hormone imbalances and breast cancer. I got an app on my phone and I scan everything, and I've just really done a lot of research and paid a lot of attention to it. And so a lot of times when your hormones are all out of whack, it's because you're using all those smell good lotions and things that are supposed to make us beautiful, but they're shitty for us. And that's where big pharma comes in.
Mhm.
But anyway, it really rings true to me to help to put these products out there for women that will help with your skin and your anti-aging and all of these things, but yet they don't cause breast cancer or your hormones to be imbalanced. Yeah, and also I'll probably be working on at least 1 or 2 more in-person retreats next year. Yeah. So, I mean, just planting the seeds and things will be in the making. I think I wanna do another online one too. That was really potent as well. Everybody doesn't have the money to travel, the financial ability. So, one of my things through all of this is to be able to make things affordable for women that do need it. The
Mhm.
online retreat, I think I might do another one in July to be affordable for women to show up and a couple of times through a weekend and do some healing work
Mm,
from the space like of your own home.
mm.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, I love all of these things. I am so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. And
What's
it's
actually
finally feeling good in my nervous system to say all of that. It's been hard going from addict and screw up to leader and embodying the woman that I've become. And yeah, I'm super proud of myself, and it feels good to finally be able to embody that. Yeah.
yes, baby. Oh, it's funny because literally yesterday I was like, I need to get me some magnesium spray. We'll have to chat because yeah, I definitely want some, and I'm so
Yes.
excited to check out what other products that you are creating. Because like I gave up on makeup. I use all natural deodorant. I don't do anything with my hair anymore. And it's really to move away from the risks of using a lot of product.
Right.
I've dabbled in making.
Mhm.
Those aren't my codes. They're not my codes to
Yeah.
share. And I feel the products is also another it's a remembering of connecting us again with what's available to us naturally and how we can shape and shift our lives from the inside out. So I love that
Yeah,
is
for sure.
a part of your journey, and I can't wait to see where that goes for you, love. One of the questions that I've had bubbling under the surface here is that I wanted to ask you is, and this is, you've, like you said, you've been on a journey and you recognize in yourself that you're still on that journey, but it feels radically different than what it did, say, 5, 6, 7 years ago, probably even a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so, what is like one truth that you have had to accept or integrate in order to one truth about yourself or the world or life that you have had to accept or integrate in order to get to where you are now, in order to get to this place of being able to speak and share and show the fuck up?
Let me sit with this for 1 second.
Take your time.
I'm still working on it, but to let things be what they are and to stay in gratefulness no matter what's going on. There's a plan that's outside of my control, and really coming back into that even on hard days. Even as far as our clients and stuff, like there's a plan already. We can't hold on to those attachments of a launch and how it's supposed to be. Really holding on to that. And I want to say you brought this into my vortex as well, like just allowing things to be what they are, because that was a big one for me because with my anxiety and my PTSD, I want to try to control, every little aspect of things. So that was really a kinda a difficult belief for me to put on, but it's been so potent in my journey to
Mhm,
just allowing things to be what they are.
mhm.
Yeah,
That's part of the faith piece too, I think, in that belief
yeah,
in something greater than ourselves. If we truly do, then we know that we aren't in control of everything. that we're here to co-create.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. And it gets to be easy. It
Yes.
always comes back so true to me too, so true to me.
Yeah, I feel like
If
that's
it's hard, if it's the hard still to this day, if it's causing me friction and hard, I'm like, "I'll come back to that later. I'll come back to it another day because it gets to be easy and we get to have fun with this." And
yes, gets to be easy. That was a hard one for me to swallow when I first really started to get to it, and it is so powerful, though, that it gets to be easy, and exactly what you just said there, and so this is like a tidbit for all y'all out there. It's if things are feeling difficult or there's resistance or there's, like, contraction around something, if it's not feeling easy, it's like, it's okay to step back from it instead of pushing and grinding through, like, it's okay to step back and, like you've said so many times, this return to the body. And
Mhm.
to believe that you can come back and it'll be easier in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. I love
Okay.
that. We're gonna wrap up the call here, guys. I feel like that was a perfect place to end this, that it does get to be easy. Feel into that body to guide you into what feels easy and what feels resistant and work with both of those feelings to carry you forward. This has been a lovely chat. Thank you all for showing up to Voices of the Embodied Leader. It's been just such a pleasure to do all of these interviews and to share all these incredible women with you. You'll be able to connect with Micah if you check out the description. I'll have links available. You can enter her group, Faces Bloom, on Facebook. That's such a great space. It's a beautiful space to start to get to know her better and a really soft space to step into some of that sisterhood and community that she was talking about. So, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for listening. It's been an honor to be here.